Hello and welcome back to another episode of Strong Collectors Comics. My name is Jordan. I'm joined today, as ever, by my plucky co-host slash sidekick Dakota. And today we are talking about our Avengers Dream Teams. So neither of us know what is on each other's list. Is that true, Dakota?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say I would be shocked if you have a single person from my team on yours.
Wow. Okay. All right. So six people each on our team, and blind reaction here. So just character, not necessarily anything specific, just a team we'd like to see. And I will start us off here. As I did with an X-Men one, is I decided to have a leader denotated, demarcated, identified for my team, Dakota. And I'm going to go with, for my Avengers, you're probably going to say, what are you thinking? But I'm picking the Scarlet Witch to lead my team. Okay, so I always liked Scarlet Witch. I think, of course, very powerful character. I think very interesting character with a cool backstory. I like the intersection of the mutant stuff, the magic stuff, a little bit of mental instability, which keeps things spicy. And I think she could rise to the occasion. So I can't have the Scarlet Witch, though, of course, Dakota, without Vision. Always love Vision. Just a cool character. And I think he'd be a great addition to the team. Brings me some muscle. Also some, wise stoicism when we need it. But if we get into some real big binds, you know who I'm going to put on this team, Dakota, is going to be the Sentry, because I can't stop putting this guy on lists. And you're probably thinking, Jordan, what are you doing putting the Sentry on here, right? So, in my
two pretty mentally unstable characters on this team here.
But this is going to be part of the arc, Dakota, is they're going to have a connection about their mutual, like, hey, we know we're super powerful and everybody knows it, but they kind of look at us as like, we can't push you too hard because you might snap and then, everything blows up. So that's going to be part of the story, part of the narrative. And like, I think that could work, actually, and I think it'd be pretty interesting. I'd almost like to see a change to the Sentry where you could have him, like, at least in the beginning, it's like he can use his powers to certain levels for, like, a certain amount of time before he'd be like, the Void's going to take over or something. Because I think the problem with the Sentry is when it's like he just shows up and can crush everybody, so they have to write in, they're like, oh, but he can't use his power, whatever. But, like, make it part of the story. Or some, I don't know, something like that.
No, that makes sense. The more he uses his power, the closer he brings out the Void.
Right. And I know that's kind of like the underlying thing, but I think making that more explicit would be kind of cool.
Sure.
And then I'm going to throw Dr. Druid on there. And I've always known of Dr. Druid. I think in a episode a while ago we were talking about him. Kind of fascinating backstory I found as I was reading more. It was like a I believe psychiatrist, author, and then he traveled to Tibet, and then he got the powers from the Tibetan monks, and he can tap into his Celtic ancestors. So we're going to do some Celtic Irish lore, maybe some folk stories, something like that in there. And because I like the magic stuff, but I think he'd bring another cool element to that. I'm also going to put the Beast on there because you know how I love Beast, Dakota. And I've always liked I liked the weirdness, even as a kid, seeing him on the Avengers was kind of random, but I also thought it was cool. And he'd, of course, bring the science-y, a little bit of the tech element there. But leaning real heavy into the tech element for me is going to be Moon Knight. And this is going to be more Batman-style Moon Knight. So he's going to have his moon gadgets. He's going to have the moon copter. We're not doing this grounded level Moon Knight stuff. He's like going to be a little more Batman style, kind of more of that like retro thing going on. And I think with all these, I could see them definitely going against some cool mystical foes. We're probably going to fight some undead creatures. Who knows where it'll take us. But I think these would be some fun characters to see interacting together.
Yeah, that is an interesting team. I like how you double dipped on Beast there. You went X-Men team and Avengers team back to back.
Right.
Druid. It's a fun pick. I do like your mentally unstable thread through the storyline. I think that would be interesting. And I think that
And
would
then
make
Moon
for
Knight too, with his
That's
his
true.
personality thing going on. So we're all just gonna have some, mental health Avengers here that are gonna talk about some heavy hitting issues.
Good point.
And then Dr. Druid being a freaking psychiatrist. Boom, baby. That thing writes itself. Are you kidding me?
He's just pretty much having like a group therapy session with everybody.
Well, it'd be like, do you remember in Thunderbolts when Doc Samson is like counseling penance after his, I actually thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I think more stuff like that would be interesting.
Okay.
Personally.
I don't know that I have anything quite I don't have through lines with my Avengers team here for the story arc, but some cool characters I'd like to see on a team together. I also have my leader going first, and that's Firestar. Not a staple in the Avengers, but I think she was pretty cool. She's also been on the X-Men team, and I'd like to see her in kind of that leadership role. She's got a lot of experience. Another one on the team is going to be Black Knight. And, I don't really have a whole lot of reason for why I'm choosing Black Knight other than I just think he's cool. I'm going to go more of the Ebony Blade Black Knight. I don't really want the lightsaber Black Knight. So he's going to be,
I agree. Good choice. Good choice.
Full knighted up, no bomber jacket, just knight in armor. We're going to need some heavy hitters on the team. So first up is going to be She-Hulk. You can't really have Hulk on the team so much. You kind of lose control. You could maybe say a smart Hulk, but I'd rather just have She-Hulk on the team. And I think she kind of can add more of that kind of humor side to the story as well.
Right. Is she going to be breaking the fourth wall, Dakota?
I'll leave that one up to the writer. I think it could work, but I don't think it's necessary.
Okay. Maybe it's subtle.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Another heavy hitter is going to be Wonder Man. I think this one's going to be more of the black and red suit, not the red smoker jacket. If we could get some, I don't really understand the whole when he kind of turns proton-y, but I would like to be able for him to turn that on and off, get powered up. Again, I should probably brush up on some of these characters, but that's why I want them in this book, is so that I know more about them, because I love the idea of them and I want to see more of them.
Yeah.
Another one, I've read some books, I think from the 90s or 80s, whenever George Perez was doing the art for it, is Swordsman. I haven't seen him a whole lot recently.
Okay.
But I think it'd be kind of fun. You've kind of got that Hawkeye show kind of brings him a little bit more into popularity. So I think, people might be excited to see that. And I don't know, I'd just like to see him more in today's day and age, see how we can have, two sword. I mean, he's swordsman. Black Knight's obviously using the sword.
Right.
Be kind of fun. And then my last one on the team is going to be Irredeemable Ant-Man. I used him back when we were doing our Avengers teams for certain criteria, and I thought he should be on this team as well. I've never been a huge fan of Hank Pym as Ant-Man. Riot if you have to for that. He's just never been my favorite Ant-Man. Scott Lang, he's more the MCU Ant-Man to me, not so much a comic version, but Irredeemable Ant-Man I think is pretty fun. He's, kind of can be that humor with She-Hulk, and that's my favorite Ant-Man costume too. So,
right.
Yeah, that is my team of 6.
Did I not catch? Did you say a pick for someone who'd be your leader of the team?
My leader is Firestar.
Firestar. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Firestar would be cool to see in a more serious capacity, I think. And Swordsman's a cool pick. I thought about Swordsman at one point too, but I got too excited about my other lineup.
Yeah.
But I think Swordsman are you talking mustachioed Swordsman?
Oh yeah, for sure. You got to have the
new costume.
You can modernize it a little bit, but I still want it to look very much classic. It should be paying respects to the classics, but you can kind of bring it into today's day and age. But he still better have a mustache. That's for sure.
He's got to have the stash.
Yeah,
for sure. I think Black Knight and Swordsman would be cool. That'd be fun to have 2 sword guys on the same team.
I feel just a story of those two would be kind of cool, as a mini series of, kind of a little bit more. I don't even know if you could say street level, because I think 2 superheroes running through the streets with swords and thugs is a little might be a little
it's hard to
Punisher
not
style.
write with them just murdering everyone. But
Exactly. What else are you supposed to do with the swords? So maybe get them like fighting like Doom bots or something. I don't know.
Skeletons, classic.
Yeah.
Or aliens, because they don't matter. Kill as many of those as you want. I like to see that team, though.
Yeah.
Those are our choices for our Dream Avengers teams. Let us know in the comments, as always, what you think of these lists, what 6 you would pick for your Dream Avengers lineup that has not yet come to pass. Please be liking, sharing, and subscribing. And, as always, stay strong.